installing community fridges across strategic positions, strategic locations in the city.
From the Garden State, New Jersey, from one mom to another, it's time for Mom's Talk. Here's Avani.
Welcome, Supermoms, to Mom's Talk. I'm your host, Avani, and our today's Supermom guest is joining us from Chennai, welcoming Dr. Issa Fathima Jasmine. Lovely to have you here, Issa.
Same here, Avani. Hope you're doing good.
I'm doing wonderful, and I'm eagerly waiting how our conversation is going to be. I know it's going to be fun.
Sure.
So, Issa, I've heard and I've seen a lot of people who help other people, in different ways. People have come across their own foundations. They have built their own foundations where they help the other needy people with donating clothes and providing education and a lot of other things too. You are also doing a social work, Issa, a very neat concept. And you're also helping a lot of people. And with one of the most important things, it's the necessity of survival of a human being, food. You've made it so easy for people to access to this basic necessity of survival. What is your foundation about, Issa? If you could please tell us a little bit about it and how it functions.
Yeah. The foundation name is called the Public Foundation. The main work of a foundation is to curb food wastage and to eradicate hunger. So we work as a medium between people who waste food and people who really want food. So the main project that we do is all about installing community fridges across strategic positions, strategic locations in the city, so that people who have excess food can come forward and donate, and people who want food can take it from there. So very, very simple concept. Whenever we have extra food, what do? We put it in the fridge and we eat it whenever we want. So the same concept, what I did was we put the fridge just outside so everybody could actually use it. So this is what the Public Foundation actually does.
That's wonderful. Such a neat idea, Issa. Putting refrigerators on the streets. And you have come up with the perfect bridge in between the two. There's a lot of food waste that happens. And that is put to a very good use now. It's helping a lot of people. Let me ask you this. You have refrigerators, you have put in refrigerators on the streets. How many refrigerators are on the streets of Chennai? And how many people do you think you're feeding on a daily basis?
We have 10 fridges in Chennai and 2 in Bangalore and 1 in Vellore also. Vellore is also within Tamil Nadu. So totally we have 13 fridges. On an average, we feed about 100 to 150 people every day, a minimum. So we feed about 800 to 1,000 people every day.
Wow.
The fridge just acts as a medium. In fact, I'm just a medium there. My work was to place a fridge. It's the public who are actually giving the food, and through that it actually runs. I would rather call it as a public's project rather than saying it's a project of the Public Foundation.
That's lovely. I saw it, the way you're mentioning it, it just sounds so simple and so easy, but I'm sure it's not that easy, or it would have not been as easy for you to put these things in place. How did you get this idea? Where did you get this idea from?
Just like how I mentioned before, the simple thought that came was, so every day when I used to give food, some of the times I used to face embarrassment. Like when I give to people, some people will accept it. Some people will be like, hey, I'm not the kind of person who needs food. I used to feel embarrassed because I was very, very judgmental. I looked at people's clothes and then I decided I really need food, but that's not the way it is. So then I realized, okay, what would be the best option so that I don't affect the dignity of the people? So the taker should also feel dignified when they're asking for food. So when I was thinking about that, the easiest thing that came into my mind, or the rather simplest thing that came into my mind was, when I have excess food, I refrigerate. It's a simple process like that. So why don't we have a refrigerator outside? So people who want to donate, it becomes an easy process for them to give. So this was a very, very simple idea. That's how the concept of having fridge outside came into action.
It's wonderful. You are a doctor, you're an orthodontist, and being from this field and now getting into, starting your own public foundation, how did that happen? I mean, typically we hear a lot that doctors are very busy, they have a very busy schedule, and everybody, in fact, in today's world. How did this idea got implanted in your mind while you were working as a doctor?
In fact, when I first thought about this and I discussed with my close set of friends, most of them criticized, saying that this is not the age or to start something like this now. Either focus on your career, start with your own clinic, put that energy, everything into your own setup. So this was the constant thing that I kept on hearing from them. So when I discussed with a few other people also, because I needed a location to put the fridge. So most of them were like, no, concept is not going to work out. You're not going to do this. So a lot of criticism did happen at that point of time. But then I was very determined that I actually do this because my belief was that definitely we have a lot of food wastage that's happening in our home. If in one street, if at least 10 people come forward to give food, at least 10 people will be benefited. So that was the whole idea. So it went beyond my profession. I felt like, no, this is something that I'll give equal time to it and start. So it just happened. And beyond, my profession is also something, an orthodontist is one who actually corrects crooked teeth and give them the beautiful smile, the so-called $1 million smile, So we work actually with that. I've seen my patients smile after the treatment part. So in fact, humanity is all about that also. When you give food, the smile that they give, I don't know, no words can actually describe that. It's a different type of satisfaction that you actually get. I think for me, it's all about the spark comes when I see people smile.
Absolutely right. I mean, that is priceless when you see somebody smiling and the kind of satisfaction that they get at the end of the day. I think even you must be getting the same kind of satisfaction at the end of the day. When this idea came into your mind and you faced a lot of criticism for that, despite of that, you wanted to do this. And the very first refrigerator that you might have put on the streets, what was the feeling like? What were the challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them?
Yes. So as I mentioned before, I was very determined. I was very determined that I do this. And I thought that would be my only baby and that will be my baby forever. So I decided to put it in a place which is very closer to my residence and to my workplace so that I give you more attention towards it. So I hunted for a location within 2 to 3 kilometers of my residence and my workspace. So I could give more and more because I am dealing with something which is very perishable, which is food. If it was something else, maybe my attention could have been a little lesser. But then I thought, okay, this is food. Your attention needs to be there. So the major challenge would be to find a location, number one. And number two would be people accepting it also. So I never did I think that, this baby would grow up and we will have more and more fridges in the coming years. So that point of time, the only thing was, okay, let me go ahead and place it. When I was doing this also, so there were a lot of people who came and asked me a lot of questions. So how do you think this concept is going to work in India? How do you think people are going to give food? And how do you think people are going to take it by themselves? So, because the whole idea was, we will have a person who's going to man this project, but he's only there to check the quality of the food that goes in. But beyond, he's not going to restrict anyone saying that, he's no discrimination there. If you're hungry, that's the only criteria that is there. You can actually open the fridge and take food from it. So a lot of people started questioning how it is going to function and everything. In fact, I also had mixed feelings because you're dealing with perishables, number one, and this is not going to come from a centralized kitchen. This is going to be from each and everybody's household. Okay, it could be you, it could be anyone, it could be anybody. Okay, so how am I going to monitor the quality of the food? I had a lot of questions which are unanswered. But beyond all these things, I just felt only one thing very strong. Okay, you can at least help 1 or 2 people maximum per day. Definitely possible. Think about that. For a month, you will be actually helping close to about 50 people. I think you should only think about that. The rest all will fall into place. I feel all the questions have been answered over a period of time, despite all the challenges. Okay. So I think the feelings has been very, very grateful. I've seen people take food and I watched from a distance, the smile that they give, the blessings that they offer and the happiness that I see. is absolutely priceless, absolutely priceless. Words just cannot merely explain how much of satisfaction it gives for a person. Be it just not me, for even people who come and give there. So they also, stand there to see who takes the food and what kind of reaction they actually give. There's so many people who bless that area. I feel there's a whole positive vibe in that area, more like how you enter a temple, how you feel. So for me, the fridge is personally like, I stand there, I kind of feel like so many blessings there. So many people are so happy about taking food. Their one day meal, which was not taken care of. Okay. So it helps them in two possible ways, not only hunger. It also helps them in an indirect way, meaning they're able to save a little money. Maybe with that money, they can educate a kid or maybe, spend it for other expenses as well. So there's a whole lot of, beneficial things attached with, donating it to this particular fridge.
This thought of helping others comes from somewhere, especially when you were a child. So how were those years like?
I think it came from my father. So I've seen my father help a lot of people from an young age. So naturally, I think it just came. And so the humanity part or helping others, be it as simple as just throwing a smile at someone or being a listening ear, or even just sitting right next to people who are undergoing trauma or undergoing any difficulty. I think my father has always been mentioning on that. So you got to help people in whatever form that you could. You don't have to think big. Not always that you can sponsor a kid for education. Not always you can give them a lot of money, but a small thing could also help them. Think about that always. So that happiness, the giving, that's what he often says, it's in giving that you actually receive more, and giving gives you a different type of joy which you will not get it in other ways. Sometimes the purpose in life is actually in giving, and you will feel that you are actually traveling the path. I think it's just from him that we've learned a lot, but at a young age we didn't realize the importance of it. But as we grew, I think then we understood that the bigger value of it, the bigger meaning of it, how much giving actually means.
Is he also a part of this foundation now?
In fact, I didn't even tell him when I first started the fridge. He just got to know through the newspaper, and he called up and said, "I just saw an article of you. Is that you or someone else?" I said, "Like me. I know you would actually. I don't know whether you'll be happy or not happy because he always wanted me to focus on career and have a hospital and move that. But I just thought, okay, let it be a surprise. Or I was a little afraid also that I might get something from him. So I was very quiet."
So it was just you by yourself who decided to do this?
Yes.
Did you ever, Issa, did it ever happen that, you're a doctor, your career into medicine and this foundation, was there ever a clash or has affected or this foundation has affected your career, or your career has affected your foundation in any way?
No, I think it's all about priorities. It's all about time management. I've been very watchful over that. I don't think it did. In fact, it has helped me the other way. I think so. So because of foundation, people recognize me. Because of being a dentist, people recognize the foundation as well. So it's a win-win situation for me, and I've never felt that this has affected me in that way. No. And I totally love both, because for me as an orthodontist, I deal with kids. Okay, and it's all I love to be with kids and I pick up conversations with them. So it's been very different, and it's the same way with the foundation also. More than giving food, also I work with a lot of kids and giving them stationaries and toys and sitting with them and playing with them and everything. So I think it's a mutual win-win both, and I don't see that it's affected me in any ways.
I can see that frame right behind you, Issa. And if I'm reading it correctly, it says from another point of view. What is what is the story behind that frame?
Nothing. I just wanted to have a random frame choices. So I like to design my spaces also. So I keep playing with it. I keep changing the frame. I keep changing the sofa layout. I keep changing the carpet, whatever. So small things. So I would always tell myself, you can't change home pretty often, but you can actually change those frames pretty often and play around. So it's just from another point of view. That's all. So I'm said to be very when I come from a community where people are very, very conservative. So when I do something erratic, so people tell me, we really do not know whether you fit in here. So that's when I tell them from another point of view.
I knew there was something about that frame. That keeps you going.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, Issa. We would love to know your message for all the mothers.
For all the mothers there. So this is something that I have seen from people, my own friends who are also moms. So most of them miss their me time. They always give priority to kids. I'm fine with that. It's definitely good to be with your kids and spend a lot of time, but definitely at the same time, you need to see yourself also. Only when it is inside, you can actually, when it's full inside, you can give it outside. So you just cannot have that empty and still pretend that you are taking care of everyone around you. I would say to all the mothers, always make sure that you have your own me time. Be it whatever you want to do in that time. You want to meditate, or you want to just sit and relax, you want to get a foot massage done, or you just wanted to walk, whatever it could be. Just take that every day. It's just not reserve it for 3 months once, 6 months once. No, your kids will actually understand you. Your spouse will actually understand you. A lot of times this happens, when I call my friends for a dinner, or even for a small get together, or even for a small trip, they always say, no, my kid needs me, my husband would need me, etc. But I always tell them, no, once you show them that you are independent, once you show them that you also have your time, they will start respecting that time of yours. Okay, I think that's my personal message to a lot of people there. Of course, I definitely give a lot of priority to my family. That's more important for me than anything else. But at the same time, for me to be sane and for me to actually, take care of them in a better way, I need to have my own time where I rejuvenate completely and come back and give them with, full love and full love. So that's what is important, I feel. For all the women folks there, I would say definitely take your me time and also start exercising. That's my most things. I've seen a lot of moms not focusing on their own health. Okay, be it physical health or mental health, not focus on that. I would urge all mothers to pick up some sort of exercise that you want, be it as simple as walking or a yoga, or whatever it is. Do. Eventually, your kid will also follow you. Your kid will also know that how much importance is of. When you start focusing on your physical and mental health, your kid will also understand how much important it is. So I think we as a role model, when you do it, they simply follow us. A lot of times we think being responsible is what is important, and that's where kids learn from. No, the kids learn everything from us. So I feel me time is very important, and focusing on your physical and mental health is equally important, especially for mothers who have crossed 35 years of age, where you're going to face a lot of problems. Focus on exercising. That's my, a simple thing. I urge all moms to do that.
Wonderful. And very rightly said, Issa. Absolute pleasure talking to you. You're doing an incredible job helping so many people, and you're doing it with such an ease. Thank you so much for doing that, and all the very best to you for all your future projects. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Avani. I had a great time. Thanks a lot, and wish you all the very best too.
Hi, this is Avani from Mom's Talk. Help me spread the word and join me on my mission of motivating other moms by sharing the video. Thank you for watching.